Right folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join us in the wild lands of Scotland. And just check it out, today it's raining and we've got an extreme amount of mist. In today's episode we're joined by a special guest folks. It's the channel DJ, back for another adventure. And today we're away to visit an abandoned farm croft. I can see there's rain on the lens already, I'll give that a wipe. So just check out the character of this land folks. It's like proper misty wet Scottish weather today. And when I visited this little, it's an abandoned croft we're about to see today, and when I visited it, it was the height of summer and it was a late evening adventure. And often I love coming back in the winter and just seeing how different these places can look. There was a couple of sheds that I couldn't even get into the last time I was here because it was so overgrown with the nettles. They were like right up at this height. So yeah, it's cool to go back and update the history, see what's left. And it looks like a lot of these trees have been felled since the last time I was here. So yeah, let's get into this adventure folks. Check it out folks, we've made it to this old historical building here in the wild lands of Glenila. We've gotten wet today on this adventure, but it's always worth it because we do love an adventure into the wild Scotland. Look at the size of this end window. This must have been a separate like outbuilding. It's interesting to see, and it's separate to the actual house, which is here, and there's a couple of old sheds and stuff, but the main house is cool. This has been the back door at one time, and then the wee garage. Look at the old door here with the stones. See, last time I was here all this was so overgrown, I couldn't even see any of that. Look at the way the moss is over those stones folks. This is a dry stone constructed like outbuilding at one time. Probably ancient. And then the house was later like renovated and updated. Whereas these old buildings probably weren't maintained. And then the last time I couldn't even get in that building at the end because the nettles was so high. This was all nettles. So different in the winter folks. Let's head on round and see what else this place has got to offer. See if we missed any history the last time as well. There's a serious amount of stones here. I'm not sure if there's been like other little outbuildings or anything related to the farm. Yeah, it could have been where they had a mill. Maybe the animal turned round and round there, powering their mill like we've seen in previous croft videos recently. This has been a big window though for the size of the shed. That's maybe where they had their cows and livestock. Wow, I love little houses like this. It's just hidden in the wild landscapes of Scotland folks. Though often you can just uncover a little bit of the history of the glen. And every time I go to these houses it's like something different inside them. Look at the character of that with the wee window. You can see why all the Scottish buildings have got this mossy layer on them. At this time of year it's just saturated with water. Here it's interesting the shape of this dyke and that there, eh? I think those piles of stones were probably from them clearing land. They might have had a few fields and stuff set up here. The main farm track must have come up this way. You can see now it's just an abandoned scene.
It's like they had something there.
Yeah, maybe there was a little outbuilding here. See, the last time, I can't even remember looking at this. The interesting thing is though, the way the dyke steps in there, see that? There's a proper shape to it, like a curve. And then think that tree was probably just planted back at that time. Wow. What a scene.
What an echo.
I know, there's a crazy echo from here, right? Oi! It's the shape of the land and maybe with the trees. Oh, I don't know if that comes out on the camera. Whoa! There's a massive hole here, like. Somebody's dug stones out here. I wonder if somebody was trying to find abandoned treasure. Look at this, folks. Somebody's been digging this out. That is interesting. I wonder why they've done that. I wonder if they were curious to see what this was under here. Because maybe they thought like the pile of stones had something buried under it. Whereas I believe this, to me, when I see that, I've seen it other places, they clear the land so they can plant crops. And the stones around Glenisla are just incredible.
There's a gate or something down there.
Yeah, there's another incredible... Look, I'm just about slipping.
So we've got the wall line.
There's a mound. It's like there's a bit being cleared.
Yeah.
Or levelled. There's a big mound there. Obviously, so they've been doing work for the forestry, so I'm not sure. Maybe there's bits for the lorries to come in down there as well. Look at this for a scene though, look at this house. It's a crazy bit of abandoned Scottish history. Wow, I remember the last time, folks, I walked round this grassy bit, I was scared that I had ticks on me, because that was at the height of the summer. And just check how different it is now. All this is just open. This little porch is on its last legs as well. This is so cool. Wow. See in here, this has been a separate little room here, and that's the door which goes out the back. You can see where the old interior wall's been, the last remains of it. Whoa. This is the house. See, I always forget the individual details because I go to so many abandoned little houses. But look, the chimney has fallen in. And actually, that's what's sitting on top of the roof here. Oh, I need to get my torch on here, folks. There we go. Check it out, folks. Look at the fire. The old fireplace with little metal brackets and stuff at the side. And then just check out the last remains of the mantelpiece. See a lot of these houses up on the hill, like they had the wooden line and like lining, and you see that quite a lot. Over the years they used to put that in so it was a lot warmer. Here's the mantelpiece sitting down here. And just check it out, imagine when they were in the kitchen back in the day looking out that window, maybe they had a little field of wheat up there growing. They'd be out flagging away the pigeons or whatever if they saw them land and eating the seed. It's insane just to see little bits of Scottish history like this. Look, old 1970s can line here. This is one of these houses, you realise all this debris is actually bits of the house. There's the mantelpiece is here, and then this is the bit which has been on top of that. So it shows you a small bit of like the room's decor. Yeah, I got scared. See, the last time I was here, I was in the shed, and one of the branches of the tree must have been scratching on the roof.
It's like a pulley system for his hand to wash.
Yeah, to dry the washing. That's some of the last history, like, when that roof comes down, that history will be forgotten.
Yeah.
See another detail, look, see how there's a black stain around that hook?
Yeah.
It's like somebody at a later times had like a tilly lamp or something on there. So the soot's been going up onto the roof. See, a lot of the hooks, often in old houses there was hooks and stuff, and that was for hanging the lamp. They would have a wee paraffin lamp back in the day. That must have been like a lobby. If they came in from the sheds and that around the back, they would go into that room.
I'm thinking that might have been the bathroom.
You think so? But they would have had to come out in that back door through the bathroom then.
That's not a separate shite house.
They would have most likely. It would have been outside the toilet facility probably. Look at this here, the view out over the hill. The drizzle coming down through the trees. The old window latch. Wow, years of decay, folks. The moss and the grass is just growing in there now. Everything's starting to rust and decay. Yeah, this gives you a bit of an idea how the floor and stuff would have been. A room like this, it's like fully wooden lined. Wow. Look at the roof, the way it's drooping down at that corner. It's clearly like curved.
It's like his memory like that.
It's maybe just built to the original stone structure, and houses like this are hundreds of years old. There could have been a croft on this site all the way back to like early 1300s. Ancient times in Scottish history. Even way back to the clan like battles and wars of Scotland, little crofts were set up all over the wild landscape. That's the sort of places we explore. Obviously, as the years went on, they updated them and upgraded them. That's how we can see evidence of like curtain rails and even this wooden lining. Look, see behind that? You can see evidence of the original wall with the paint.
Yeah.
That's from an ancient time, folks. That render there would be, I can't even think how long ago, like 1700s and older, I would say.
Long before we think of the view you would have got the trees being there.
Yeah, it must have been crazy. All those trees around us wouldn't have been there. There would have been different landscape all around. The view looking away in there must have been amazing. It's crazy to think about that. And just imagine the people that would have lived in a place like this, miles away from big communities and big settlements. It's like an isolated lifestyle almost. And they would have eaten just for the land.
This whole thing is just collapsed.
Yeah, you can see how it's dropped. The wood and door frame. Crazy. And I love these little front doors. A lot of old Scottish houses has got that. It's like a double front door. Here, that's in great condition. The paint on the back of that door just looks like new. That is insane, folks. Look at the wee birdie's nest in there. It just shows it's a habitat for life nowadays, a place like this, folks. The torch has gone off once again. I think it's got a timer. This is crazy, folks. This torch on the phone, you just shake it twice and it comes on. But it's no doing it. The one time I'm trying to make an example here for the video. There we go, folks. That's what it's all about. Modern technology. Look, it's had a bar or something, maybe to hold the door shut. Look at the detail of the hinges. I don't think I noticed that the last time. But like, once all that wooden frame and stuff falls down, it'll just, that history's gone. See the black spider there walking up the wall? Wow. There's 2 spiders in there. There's a lot of spiders actually in hindsight. I'll put the door back around and all those beasts can live happily in here. Nature just takes back over, and that's like plants as well as all the animals. Look at this fern, the way it's grown out of there. It's like a scene from an abandoned jungle or something.
I think this tree was maybe planted when the owner still lived here.
Yeah, you could imagine that. They might have had a little picnic bench or something. They would sit out there. The tree would have just been a tiny little sapling back then. Look how much moss and stuff's growing on that tree branch. That's a sign of clean air. Look, there's a weird other type of thing growing there that I've not seen often. Almost looks like something for a different planet. I can hear a robin. It's maybe not a robin. There's a bird over there making some mad noise. Yeah, look, this tree just grows out the middle of this massive pile of stones. You can imagine them coming up the little track there in their horse and cart back in the day. Again, they would be coming up maybe from the market. And this must have been their sheds. This is proper like old school farm shed, like the character with the feed things on the wall. Let's switch it on. Yeah, see when I was in here last time, right, the branch was scraping on the roof. Okay, and I was like in here and all I hear is this strange like noise. And then like I realised what it was, but see the initial noise, because I was looking this direction. Okay, it was a frightening experience. Look at this, you can see the wear here from the animals actually eating, which shows this has been a hustle and bustle and farm. And you can imagine the boy coming in and putting the straw into here, the hay or whatever it is, probably growing from the fields out there. And then in this side it's had like a partition with other animals on this side. Look how much that back wall is leaning out. Yeah. Stuff like this, folks. It's history almost gone forever. The way this wall here is shaped, it's like It looks like it could just fall down at any moment. Look at the history there hanging up. See, the farmer would have just had a lamp or whatever, he would have come out and hung it up in the shed when he was doing his work. Look at all these old hooks. Just think of the farm and maybe like horse harnesses and stuff that would have been hooked up. And look, there's an old bit from a machine. I'm sure somebody told me that was from like a tatty. I can't even remember what. Digger. Maybe a tatty digger. See, look, this internal wall's been put in at a different time. So when you look at the history of this, you have to imagine this shed without the internal wall. Yeah. See, one side of the door here has been repaired and the other side hasn't it? Let's head along here. This is the shed. I've never been in this shed in my life. I could just see it. Like, I remember I poked the camera over the top the last time. Oh, look, this one's got the feeder which is up on the wall. No way, this is like some proper old, like, medieval animal feeding area, like. Yeah, this shed's shaped differently to the other. They've laid the pebbles in and laid them proper. And then they've got the, yeah. So probably if the animals was in here, they could easily clear the shed out and rinse it down. Look, the massive bits of what must have been another feeding thing. And look, some animals, mate, it's making in here, like, there's a massive carcass or something there.
Those two bits came.
Oh, aye, it might have. It's got the same bits like the feeder we saw in the other shed.
Yeah. Oh, it may have been like that.
Yeah. See, it looks like something's been mounted there.
Yeah.
Crazy history, folks. It's amazing to think, like, what could be stashed here from the farmer, eh, back in the day. Oh, look, the old milk bottle. Look at this, folks. This is what a milk bottle was like back in the day. Look how thick the glass is. Look, it's not even, like, equally thick either. Wow. Real history of Scotland, folks. Just think, that milk. Oh, there's something written on it. Pasteurised milk, so it's probably not as old as, like, it's no crazy old. But it is ancient considering the thickness. I'm not sure, like, how long they've been pasteurising milk. Oh, look, what's this? Oh, it's a bit of carpet. See, they could have been using this for lambing and stuff at a certain time. I would say those trees and the forest there was planted maybe like in the 40s or the 50s. Or after it. So you, like, the land looks so different now. Is that a moth? Yeah, there's a moth or a butterfly there chilling out for the winter. Yeah, I'm just making sure we're not missing any detail of the history, folks. What a cool adventure it is coming to a place like this. Sometimes on a rainy day it's cool just having a wee house or a croft or something you can go and you get a shelter from the roof. You also get to document a bit of history along the way. And look at the stone construction, eh? All the different bits of stone they've used. There is mortar, but it's crazy. Last remains of the door frame and stuff in there. Imagine that, the stormy winds howling in here, like out and in here at next. Probably before the trees was here. Ken, this was a lot more exposed on the hill. See, there is remains of like piles of stones all over here. But look, this must have been an old like garden gate post. See, the last time I was here, this was just honestly like shoulder deep overgrown. And you can see it from the height of these nettle stems. Just shows you how the nettles die back in the winter. Oh look, what's this? Oh no, I think it's just a bit of wood. I thought it was a bit of a metal pipe or something. Yeah, look at the construction of this building. I wasn't even able to see any of this the last time. Just check it out for this angle, folks. It's a proper abandoned wonderland right here. Abandoned Scotland here. I do love exploring it. There's something about like when you're going to see somewhere, you never know if you're going to be able to get there. And sometimes, like we've seen recently, they're shooting on Scottish estates, so it's just luck if you can get in and make a video. And this time of year, we're limited by the daylight and also the weather. But here we are, like all conditions, even in the rain, we're out here like exploring history and recording things. Again, we've never even seen this side of the house because it was so overgrown the last time. But that's often why I enjoy coming like in the winter as well as the summer to places. You get to see little things you missed. And look, there's a detail of the history. The roof has been replaced at a separate time, because I can see a line there leading up. Check it out, folks. It's had like a stone slab roof at one time there, and then it's had this in put on. So it just shows it's been renovated and updated along with the house. It looks like the house has had like a whitewash render on it at a certain time as well. I believe the wooden interior would have most likely been fitted into there in the 1800s. This place was probably last lived in the 1800s, I believe. Maybe early 1900s they were still in it, but look at the back wall. That's why it's cool to video this stuff too. It's still standing to a certain degree. Yeah, and it looks like it's been the stone slabs as well, which is ancient. That shows the house has also been like, look, you can see how those slates have been put on at a different time, because it's kind of crude the way it's all been done. But often the farmer would be building his own house in a place like this. You can see how it's dropped and all this is actually cracking, because houses from the day you build them, they're always settling. And even 200 years later. But at one time the ground here would have been drained and it would have been a lot less wet, under the footprint of the house. Now it's proper saturated. You can see it, folks. These conditions we're in, the grass is soaking today. So there we go, folks. Another farming complex documented at another time of year. And look, I'll be able to walk over to this bit today because it's not so overgrown. I couldn't even have a proper look at this bit the last time. I do reckon though, this is just where they've cleared it when they've been making fields and stuff like that. No, unless there has been other outbuildings and they've all been flattened. Because often with estates, they just change and everything over the years. You never know what's been there. It can often just be a small clue of history, but with this place, it looks like they've cleared fields and bits of land at a certain time, probably for crops and for grazing. And it's kind of just hidden within this fir tree wonderland around here. Once you go further up the path, you get an incredible view just like over the glen, between the trees. I often keep places like this proper location a secret, just to stop vandalism occurring. Because often folk go around and just destroy places like that once they know where they are. So out of respect for the landowner and the house owner, we're just out recording a bit of history here, and then we're on our way. It's cool just to imagine the folk that lived there. I'm not sure if they had like a wee vehicle, some sort of horse-drawn cart maybe they kept in that middle garage. No, unless somebody used to come and use it as a holiday house at a later time even. Maybe in the 50s they came up here in their old vintage car, spent their summer. History like that, folks, it's almost gone. And this landscape is majestic. Right, folks, that's been another crazy adventure into a bit of wintry abandoned history. And it's crazy to see Scotland like that in the wet kind of winter conditions we're dealing with right now. It's freezing cold. Well, what's the temperature of the day? About 6 degrees or something Celsius. So the situation's real out here, folks, but we're still doing the adventures. I'm going to end this one here though. I'll be back very soon with the next one. Goodbye for me. Goodbye for the channel DJ. See you soon, folks.